Get on there.
Hold up. You're now listening to Fresh Out, the world's most dangerous music podcast on the OMG Network and rawcynic.com.
Baby.
F to the R to the S to the H to the O to the U to the T. That fresh out.
Baby.
In the building.
Yeah,
What's
man.
going down, y'all?
What's going on?
Hey, man. Hey, first of all, let's be clear, man. This is the first guest we've ever had on Fresh Out.
Oh,
I can't believe it.
Right
I
there.
can't believe it.
Hip
It's an honor.
VCR. If y'all haven't subscribed to his channel,
Hey,
I'm predicting by December he'll be 100,000 wow.
Damn, 100,000.
100,000 wow, man. Real talk.
This is
Hip
the
hop
man.
VCR,
This is the
man. This
man.
dude has over, I'm gonna say 300 hours of hip hop history from
Hey.
97 to
Hey.
2005.
It's ridiculous.
Crazy.
major.
I consider him almost like the Brainiac, man. If y'all know your characters, but Brainiac just come to a planet, just shrink it up, man. Like,
Guys, even I'm
Take
I'm a
all
fan
the
of me.
knowledge.
Even I'm a fan of me.
there you
It's that
go.
great.
Hey, you got to start somewhere. You got to be a fan. Of
Now
yourself
this
first and
thing now,
foremost.
how did you start like collecting, man? Real talk.
Yeah.
Like recording and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll start in 1996. I wasn't recording in 1996, but I discovered Tupac. I discovered Tupac, towards the end of his career. I actually started listening and getting into Tupac after he passed.
Okay.
Crazy.
So I was 15 years old. And
man.
and then I got heavy into Pac. And as that happened, once 97 rolled around, there's a VCR sitting in my house.
Mhm.
There's movies, some random movies, and I recorded over the film, over the movie, and that's my first tape, and I still have that tape.
That's
And
what's
then
up,
I
man.
just got prolific with it. So, and I went all the way from 97 to 2005. And then 2005, life, children, got my
Yeah,
own
man.
place, moved in with my now wife. I moved in with her, and
Congratulations.
that's it. I stopped that.
Yeah.
Salute.
But it was a good run while I did it, and that's how it happened. So not only did I do it with hip hop music, but I also did it with Michael Jordan. So I got a bunch of Michael Jordan stuff. But that stuff is all over the internet. It's all over. So they don't need me.
Yo.
Yeah.
But that's how it started.
Yes, I'm
Hey, it's
loving
still
this.
Now, if y'all don't understand why he's the first guest, now you understand why.
Now you
Yeah, they should definitely check out the channel because it blows everyone's mind, especially since I post daily.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen. Obviously I had to get put on, but once I got put on, man, it's like you just go down the rabbit hole.
It's
Like,
a
man,
rabbit hole.
Hey,
Exactly.
if you want to go down a rabbit
It's a
hole,
rabbit
man,
hole.
and if you even
Facts.
remotely consider yourself a hip hop fan, man, you definitely gotta go to the channel. Check that out,
Absolutely.
man.
Go ahead. and
Especially if
support
you're
them.
under 40 or 35 and you've never even seen this stuff before. Like it's
Oh, yeah.
crazy for us because we grew up on it.
Man.
And then
Yeah,
it's
man.
another thing when you've never even seen Jay-Z perform at the Tunnel.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
those
Right.
iconic moments,
Right.
man, at award shows, and even those. Like you got me on the promo commercials. I said this dude got a promo commercial for Jay-Z and Christian.
And the nostalgia is just crazy, right?
Yes.
It just
Dude,
hits
the
you.
nostalgia is crazy,
top
man.
notch,
Like
top notch.
Oh,
if
man.
you a
That's-
true head, Joe, and you peep that footage, fam, like
Hey.
real talk.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
if they don't make you just feel something on the inside, you know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
it burns that fire, man. Like especially
man.
if you just a true hip hop head, you love it. Like we live and breathe it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
100%.
niggas coming up in the 90s, like we was breathing that, dude.
No, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
still do,
This
right?
brother right here.
I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
we do.
This brother right here understands the importance of collecting value as
It's
it's coming
value.
about because
Mhm.
nowadays
Mhm.
this is the stuff that folks dig for. His
Yeah, man.
catalog right here. So go ahead and support this brother, Hip Hop VCR. Go ahead and check him out on YouTube. Subscribe to
Yeah,
this
man.
brother. Go
Yeah.
ahead and check him out. Go ahead and hit the like button on those
Hit
on
that
those
like
classic
button.
videos. That
Again,
you
this thing,
probably
there's
find anywhere.
nothing like it, and I'm a collector, man. I be collecting stuff and downloading it because at some point they're gonna get rid of it. That's gonna be gone.
No,
Right.
you're right. I
There's
do the same
nobody-
thing even to today.
There's
Yeah.
nobody that has a better collection of
We ain't talking
high
about, like-
quality, not no silly stuff.
Yeah.
The high
Right.
We ain't
quality
talking about like
stuff
Funko
that
Pops.
you
We
find.
ain't
Even
talking about
that
like Funko
Outcast
Pops.
joint. I forgot. I use your Outcast stuff. The Outcast stuff that you had when they just went to a party in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Diary. I think that was the MTV Diary.
Yes, you had the MTV Diary of Outkast.
Hey,
I don't even think a VH1 got that.
hey, man, this is it's top notch. And then here's the other thing, man, is you're definitely gonna find something. Even if you ahead and you thought you done seen everything, you have.
you ain't seen everything.
I guarantee you got some
Guaranteed.
stuff
Yeah.
that you ain't seen yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I taped everything. Now I regret, but I never would have. I should have just taped more than the artists that I liked. Because I get people hit me up, did you tape more Trick Daddy interviews? And I'm like, damn, I didn't like Trick Daddy. I didn't tape him on Rap City. That sucks. And now I know Trick Daddy's a legend.
Yeah, he's a legend,
Miami,
man,
he's
sure.
huge in Miami, but I'm from New York. So I'm like Trick Daddy. I don't like Trick Daddy.
Nah, I mean that is what it is though, man. Like let's be honest. We all had our artists that we favored and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like for instance, where I was from, man, Master P just came through and he was just major. So it was
I love Master P.
It was like even when I love my New York stuff, man, just seeing some of the Master P stuff, I was like, oh my goodness. But you know what I'm saying? Like not everybody feels that way about Mr. Ice Cream Man, and I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Same way with Trick Daddy and everybody else.
Now let's be clear, he's got more than just like East Coast, Cash Money Records, all kind of stuff, man. And like I said, shout out to Jahan. I'm probably saying the name wrong.
Yeah.
HipHopVCR as a museum without walls. In facts, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is why it's a special day.
Yeah.
Because it's March 9th. We all know, any hip hop head knows this is the day that Biggie passed. And so I was like, man, exactly. And it's the 21st anniversary of Life After Death.
Yep.
Facts.
Yeah, man.
So this is why it's another reason why we had to get HipHopVCR on here. Again,
absolutely.
Bebo P was good, man. We got to introduce you to everybody. Welcome back into the channel. Bebo P, what's going on?
Hey man, just glad to be here with all you fellas. Glad to have HipHopVCR on. Yeah, just really feeling it, just big today. You know, to all the ladies in the place with style.
Get the money.
You have monopoly money, bro. What is this?
Get that monopoly, baby. Fresh out. Get money.
Yeah.
You debit card and got 2022 on them with the debit on the.
Oh man, but glad. On a serious note, glad to be here again with you, brothers. Hey, HipHopVCR.
Appreciate it.
Just do what you do, brother. Welcome aboard for
man.
Tonight's commemoration of Biggie Smalls' 25-year. We're gonna call it a celebration. So I digress. I digress, though.
J Kemp, what's good, man? What's going down?
What's good, man? What's good, man?
Louisville, okay.
Man, I'm saying, like, we passed the flowered stage. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like, this is celebratory. This is a celebratory moment, man. And HipHopVCR, bro, we salute you, man, because your vault is stupid. And I mean stupid in a good way.
I get it.
It's dumb. You know what I'm saying? So, man, we just again, we heads, man. So we breathe, eat, sleep, wake up, drink.
Message.
You know what I'm saying? All that. You know what I'm saying? We in a group chat every day.
Every day.
You know what I'm saying? Posting videos, you know what I'm saying? It's throwback stuff, man. So
I respect the guys.
What you've done, man, like you really have, man, just opened up the door, man, for cats who just missed that raw,
you really have
unfiltered hip hop. Like you opened up the door, man, for cats to really just go in, man, on that, man. And you know, we sometimes, again, I'm married too. We want to spend time with our wives, but man, when that video click on, that old big video click on, say, baby, hold on 1 second.
Don't we? Get excited.
Hold on 1 second. Let me. I got Pete Biggie real quick. You know what I'm saying? So
man.
Proud, man.
I get 19-year-olds guys who DM me like, yo, I love your stuff. And I'm like, damn, you're 19, you're 20, you're 21. Like, they're guys who still plug in. They still want to know.
Nice.
That's the hope right there. That's the hope.
That's the hope with what we do with the platform.
Yes.
Got you. There's still young guys that want to know. Guys who weren't born during that time. Guys who they're fascinated. They hear the legends. They're like, who is this guy? Who's Tupac? Who's Biggie? Who are these guys that everyone keeps talking about? And they hit me up, guys. And I'm always astounded. I'm like, damn, 19 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Wow.
LB the Pop Father was good.
What's happening?
Ring of the
Pop over there, man.
Hey man, I'm just taking it easy, man. It's just it's awesome to be here, to be, sharing the stage with all the fellas here, man. And just excited, man, because because of Biggie, obviously.
Sure.
And then just having hip hop VCR in, man. This is major, you know what I'm saying? Like
our history.
Like this, I know that he knows he's major. But I'm gonna go ahead and reinforce it and just let you know, like, it is major, whether people are seeing it or not. And I'm gonna go ahead and manifest it out here, man. Like, with everything you got, man, you're gonna have like some streaming people trying to scoop you up or something, you know what I'm saying? Because
or guys, the lawyers.
Or the lawyer. Hey, one or the other. But you know what? Like, it'll just be a testament to what you've done and what people have like a passion for and things that people want to see. Because like, honestly, like, you can't pull up Netflix and get this stuff. And what are you gonna do? You gonna try to surf through YouTube and find a bad copy of this stuff? No. You're not gonna do any of that. You just need to go to Hip Hop VCR, man. So yeah, this is awesome, man. And I'm just excited, man. And of course, shouts out to Biggie. You want to sip bowl on my living room floor, play Nintendo with C's and Nino.
Pick up my phone, say, "Oh,
Papa die home."
Yeah, stop.
All night.
And let's be clear, man. Also, too, we got the hip hop VCR merch cracking as well. So definitely check it out. And like I said, if you haven't seen that, I want to show this real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
There you go. Find something new with these stickers.
Look at it.
Wow. Yeah.
Crispy, baby.
Crispy.
Oh man.
Not the first
favorite album
DMX sticker.
on your MacBook.
Oh, not the first DMX. Come on, y'all.
Need that, man.
Y'all better go to hiphopvcr.com and cop you a product there.
Gotta cop that.
There it is.
That right
Check
there.
that out. Check that. You guys are about to get real excited. Boom.
Yeah.
Yes.
This other thing too, man, and then most people forget about this as well. Are if you haven't saw his platform yet, he has a collection of hip hop magazines, man. That's untouched, unmatched, man. So, like I said, our platform is built on the nostalgia of classic golden era hip hop. Of course, we talk about the daily stuff, but the foundation is classic, those magazines that we had, man, growing up, man. And that's the other thing, man. Definitely tap into his link tree, follow him on Instagram and YouTube. And that's why, like I said, again, it's important, man, to really check out the hip hop VCR, man, because I'm trying to, again, I'm predicting 100,000 by December.
Hey, it's gonna be there though. I mean,
and then the other thing, also understand too,
that's a lot of attention, guys.
It's also a lot of these right here, brother. It's also a lot of these right there.
Or at least enough of them, bro.
It does. YouTube makes it tough for sure.
Yeah, she's loving them. And like I said, they're Discers stickers, man. And like I said, go to the website, go cop those. Definitely.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't do that for sure, man. For sure.
So like I said, man, we got to tap in real quick, man, and talk about Big today, too.
Let's do it.
So starting with Hip Hop VCR, man, like, what's your thoughts just on Big, man? And did you consider him the greatest when you were coming up?
I didn't.
Ooh,
okay. All right.
I could tell you, I actually had this conversation the other day with my wife, and I could tell you why I think he's considered the best. I don't think Biggie is the greatest technically. I don't think he's the greatest technical rapper of all time.
Okay.
But his charisma is incredible. His voice is incredible. And just his aura, guys, is incredible, right? Yeah. Biggie had it all. I mean, I listened to it, and it's like his voice is like chocolate, bro, like melting chocolate. You know what I'm saying? And you get hypnotized, no pun intended. Right. Hypnotized by his voice and his swag and all that. To me, I'm a big Jay fan, but I'm also a very big technical guy. Like, I like technicality in music. And Biggie is very witty, and Jay-Z is very witty, but Jay-Z is also more technical. And there are other more technical rappers than Biggie. Okay. But I do think that his aura, his charisma, and there you find these characters on the planet every now and then that it's not so much about what they do, it's about how they do it.
Fact.
Yeah,
right.
Because you can have a guy like Cannabis, and he's like the super technical, and he's great and all, but it's like, yo, it's not easy to hear that stuff all the time. And you're in your car on a sunny day, the first day of spring. I don't know if you want to hear, Cannabis going, doing all that stuff. With Biggie, you're like anything. You just throw it on, it's spring, and it just hits.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
So for me,
who were you feeling at that time back then?
Say it again.
Who was your number one guy back then?
Jay-Z.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Jay-Z.
Nice.
For me, it was Method Man because I love Wu-Tang. Then I discovered Tupac. I moved Method Man out the way. Then it was Tupac. Then it was Jay-Z, and I moved Tupac out the way, and it's been Jay-Z since then.
Okay.
Jay's why half the reason why I wear the Yankee.
Okay, got it. Yeah, Jay-Z was the reason why I did a lot of stuff.
Well, what's your thoughts, man, on just Big, but also who were you feeling at the time as well?
Man, I mean, I was a big dude, like back pause. I was a Biggie guy back then.
And for the record, you're from Detroit, right?
Nah, he's Louisville right there. I'm
Kentucky.
I'm Detroit over here.
Gotcha.
Now here in Detroit,
Kentucky. So Biggie in Louisville, Kentucky. That's interesting.
For me, like a lot of guys, in my hometown was definitely huge on Pac, and and shout out to Pac because Pac is one. I mean, he's Mount Rushmore.
Sure.
Nothing against Pac, but for me, Biggie just his rhymes had punch to it. It's kind of like what you were saying, like with Method too. Like them dudes, like when they rap, like you hear it, like bar for bar, word for word, like you hear everything, and that charisma, that swag, like.
Yeah,
when it's like he's talking to you over the beat, like he's having a conversation. Relax and take notes. As I think, what I'm saying? Like,
the marijuana.
Exactly, he's talking to you, man, and it had punch. Again, like you said, you don't have to be the most technical dude in the world. You ain't got to be the Cool G raps of the world, but Biggie, from the swag down to the aura, like you said, and them bars is just punchy, like witty too, and he pushed a lot of envelopes with them bars too. Because really, they would probably try to cancel Biggie today with a lot.
Oh man, he would have got canceled for sure.
It
looked so good.
He was saying, like blow up like the world trade, like that.
Ain't going down. That's funny. I always said that Biggie was Eminem before Eminem.
He was
facts.
Eminem got a lot of cues from him.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Bebo, what you thinking, man?
Yeah, man.
I mean, Biggie was the model of a well-rounded genius as an artist, in that he was a master at every element of hip hop within not even a quarter century of living on God's green earth, since he died at the age of 24, unfortunately.
Yeah,
he's top-notch in storytelling with clarity. His no need to write / off the top of the head lyricism was just extremely impressive. The freestyle game just knocked it out the park. If you're ever blessed to hear at least one of them, his singles along with his B-side songs, I mean,
like the Tracy Lees,
like
the joints he did with Tracy,
even the verse that he did on the Shaq record.
Oh yeah, killed that.
I think he wrote that too.
Can't stop the rain.
He wrote Shaq's
I mean,
verse.
Two classic studio albums that he recorded. One of them went like 11 times platinum. The other time I think went 6. So there you have that. I mean, and those are the only 2 studio albums that he recorded, before his passing. I know there's others that came out, but I mean, the man helped clean cut heavy set artists along with Heavy D and your 8 balls and that for they become an in thing. He expressed
black and ugly as ever.
Was
I stay Gucci down to the socks.
To the socks.
Yeah.
Rings and watch.
Swag.
Yeah, baby. Swag. Yeah, but the mafioso approach, you could see him in that, but you could also see him just dressed all the way down, and he still had that gravitas.
Man, that what was it called? The Coogis?
Coogee. Yep. Coogee. Yep. Oh yeah.
We should have some stock in Coogee.
He had dudes in the Midwest. He had dudes in the Midwest rocking Coogee.
Oh, for sure.
All Biggie had to do was say the word Coogee. Cats in the Midwest was rocking that.
Oh yeah, they were.
I rocked them.
White, he had
my brother rocked them.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I mean, just on and off the microphone, he just had that presence, man, that served as influential with a sense of power that has never been seen or heard of before at that time. And for that, you got to give Big his flowers for being a Mount Rushmore of hip hop legend. So he's definitely a GOAT. I mean, definitely. I mean, there's no questioning it to me.
Yeah, LB, what's your thoughts, man? I mean, because like I said, you know, pretty much like when we were growing up together, you know, you kind of introduced me to Big, you know what I'm saying? So what's your thoughts on Big?
Man, just man, outlandish, man. I think one of the things that you have to digest Biggie in is you have to digest him in the moment as well, right? Okay. Because if you look at and listen to Biggie now compared to all the rappers that have evolved since, you know, 96,
right,
you might say to yourself, oh man, that's, you know, that ain't too bad, but I've heard things like that before, right? But what you need to know is when he came on the scene, you did not hear that before. Okay,
you did.
So that's one of the things that you really got to understand about like that moment in time is that we had a lot of rappers doing a lot of things and even having a piece here that they were pretty good at, kind of the Bebo Peace point, right? They did this good, or they did storytelling good, or they were very good technically or whatever. This guy seemed to like bounce around to each one of those. You know what I'm saying?
It was unmatched.
Got all of it.
Yeah. So if he was on the joint with Jay-Z, he was gonna match up with Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? And then if he hopped on the joint with Bone Thugs and Harmony,
oh man,
you know what I'm saying? He's gonna match because who goes on the track with Bone Thugs and still come out
dangerous?
Like,
ain't too many can't hang with us.
What?
Yeah. But like, somebody give that man a mic.
Yeah, I mean to think about his ability, but also to just be himself as well, right? Because when we think about somebody that kind of morphs today, I think of somebody like The Game, right? And The Game morphs a lot into a lot of different people, but a lot of times when he does it, everybody says, well, he kind of sounds like the person that he's morphing into. So when he's on a track with 50, he kind of sound like 50. When he's on a track with Wayne, he kind of sound like Wayne. But when Biggie kind of morphed, you always knew it was still him.
It was Biggie.
You took a step back and was like, whoa.
Yeah. But he would morph and still be himself. And then if we just throw in the fact that we know that he wrote a whole bunch of the Little Kim stuff, right? We
supposedly not to, they say. I don't get it.
Well, maybe he was in the studio with him and was giving ideas.
You're giving them cues here and there, maybe.
Okay.
Right.
So maybe it was a little bit of that. But we do, I think everybody's kind of been in agreement that he did most of the writing on the Junior Mafia joint, so it's as well. So
which is another classic.
Which is another classic, right? So if you start to get into that bag and then to think before his untimely death, he was setting himself up for a label to run things and produce and sort of just take everything and push it to the next level. And this was in the middle 90s.
And
when a lot of rappers were not doing those types of things. You know what I'm saying?
Not the way he was doing it.
So I mean, man, like even to, you know, kind of the like hip hop VCR's point, right? Like, even if you like, maybe he's not the most technical or maybe he's not my favorite or whatever, just the way that he just obliterated the game in that moment and sort of like took it over and did all of these different things, man. He just catapults himself into that conversation, whether he's your favorite or not. Now he's one of my favorites, and I know for sure, I'm pretty sure I skipped school when the Life After Death came out because
actually we stole it from Blockbuster Music.
Boom. Okay, there it is.
Remember they had the Blockbuster where you could listen to it, so they gave you the case, and so the lady didn't know that she had the CD in one and was playing the other disc, so we stole that one. And it back to it, and you had the brown one, and we took that one. And skirt was out.
The brown one had the Bone Thugs, I think.
Yeah, the brown one had the Bone Thugs.
It did.
Yeah, so he had the brown one. I had the clear one.
Yeah. So I remember when I was in school, boys was skipping school to cop the Jordans or whatever.
It was different, guys.
And then I knew a few dudes. They definitely skipped to get the Snoop Dogg when it came out.
Right.
But for me, it was Biggie. I was like, all right, man, I'm out.
This is Midwest people, like this is obviously East Coast, but you have Midwest people absolutely skipping school to get Biggie.
Yeah, 1000%, man.
But the question, Hip Hop VCR, especially with you, I research. I love Pac, and I research it almost like World War II. Like I watch, and shout out to All the Dialogue. If you're not watching All the Dialogue on YouTube,
icy,
crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, Hip Hop VCR and that lines up perfectly.
Yeah, great commentary.
The question,
great commentary.
Back then was, if Pac got shot at Quad Studio, why would you drop Who Shot You? Which is going to create a problem for that. In your opinion, we know Biggie didn't sign off when singles come out, so this had to be a Puffy, a Bad Boy thing. Was it to start beef, or what do you think it was just to sell records, in your opinion?
Man, it is such a mystery. Little C's was on Vlad TV recently, and he said that was recorded way before Pac got shot.
I agree. Right? I agree.
Okay, now that being said, when you listen to it, if you plug in Tupac in your head when you're listening to that song, it's almost directly at Pac. And the coincidence is bizarre. You're like, come on, guys. Like, how is Tupac gonna believe you after hearing that song?
And at the end of the song, it does 6 shots. Boom, boom, boom. That's how many times he got hit.
Man,
that's crazy. And was Biggie both brave and coward enough? Brave enough to do such a thing, coward enough to deny it. Right? And I guess we'll never know, but Lil C's can say whatever he wants, and it is what it is. But I don't. There's no way to know. But it's just the coincidences are crazy. Similar to everything being the number 7 and Tupac's last album, and I don't know if we could just make connections where we want to see them and stuff.
Put that kufi on.
That's what we call it. Put that kufi on, bro.
But I don't know, man. I don't think Biggie had anything to do with it. I don't think he's really that type of guy. Obviously, I think at the time they were on good terms. Maybe it was one of those things where it's not a conspiracy, but later on they conspire like, oh, we got this anyway. He's already beefing with us. Drop it.
Yeah.
That could have been the scenario.
J.K., what you thinking, man, on that?
Man, I'm with Hip Hop VCR on that, man. I mean, it just... Again, not to put my tinfoil joint on, but
what's going on, man?
Kofi, get the
go ahead and do it, son.
But yo, like, I mean, I can't say this bad timing though, man, because I mean, I feel like everything is calculated. People know what they're doing. Them dudes are smart,
right?
Puffy and them was not no dummies.
Puffy.
They was not, and for them to come out with that, and you said it, Iceberg, at the end of the joint, it had 6 shots, bro. Hey. So why wouldn't Pac react the way that he did at that?
Right.
Because it's like
the other thing that Biggie didn't reach out to him when he was in Rikers.
No, not at all. So this seemed like a direct shot.
But you know what? As you guys are kind of talking through this and knowing what we know about Diddy, man, this has Diddy's fingerprints all over it, man.
Oh yeah, going right over here.
Pass it down. Pass it down to you.
Pass the tip.
His Lewinsky is on it. His DNA is on it.
But if we start to look at Diddy's record since then and look at all the things that he has done and all the moves that he has made and all the sort of like sideways things, when you think about Diddy, man, you start to say, hey, man, it could have been that maybe Biggie was like kind of into it. And then Diddy just came in and was like, hey, man, throw them 6 shots at the end and we got to release it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could see Diddy, like, getting into all of that little mix.
Sure.
You know
well, the other thing, let's be clear, Suge was smashing his baby mama.
Who? Puffy?
Puffy's baby mama. And actually, they had a flyer that had Justin Combs in it and said, if what the East Coast don't take care of, we will.
Oh, damn. I never knew that.
Go to Art of Dialogue. He's got it all.
Hey,
man.
Another quick note, guys. Supposedly when Snoop Dogg was in New York and they were filming a video, right? With
New York.
Yep.
The dog.
And supposedly it was Biggie who put in the call to send some shots out. And
so I saw that.
If you think about stuff like that, then you kind of see what kind of stuff Biggie's capable of. As nice as a nice guy as we think he is.
Right.
Supposedly that happened. Biggie made the call and shots were fired. Whether they were trying to hit these guys or not, just send a message is another thing. But Biggie is a street guy at the end of the day, right? Like these are hood niggas, and at the end of the day, this is what they do, right? So,
man. No lies detected. No lies detected over here.
Right.
So you think it's more Diddy?
I just don't know.
I can see his picture just disappearing right now. Just going away.
It's one of those things where we didn't get enough time with Biggie to sort of like get a little bit more into like his psyche and who he is and how he moves and how he operates.
And let's be clear, he was very strategic in interviews.
Yeah.
Right.
He was very strategic, and he aligned himself with Puffy, and he probably knew a lot of things about Puff that we didn't even know.
Oh, absolutely.
So so we just don't have enough information on Biggie and who he was, whereas there is a treasure trove of data and information on Diddy. So it's just easier to kind of go that route. I'm not saying that it's that Biggie couldn't have had anything to do with it, or that he didn't, get along with the go along. But just that because we have so much more information on Diddy, it's a lot easier to come to conclusions about Diddy than it is to come to conclusions about Biggie. And, so that's kind of where I'm at when I get into my little conspiracy theory bag. I'm thinking like, well, listen, man, here's, and we kind of have talked about this as a group before, that sometimes we have to go off of somebody's record. Like when we talked about Suge, we said, well, we know what Suge's track record is. You know what I'm saying? We know what Diddy's track record was.
Right.
We only kind of knew Biggie's track record, so I can't say for sure, but I'm leaning on Diddy just because Diddy's an easy fall guy, and there's plenty of information to just be like, yeah, man, you know what?
And the drama's good business, guys, and it showed. It paid off.
I think that was some of it too. Number one, we put it out, people gonna think it's Pac. We're gonna sell some records, and also it's the correct shot at Pac, because Pac wasn't. Well, I take it back. Pac wasn't with Death Row at that time.
He was not.
So
that
kills my theory. My 10-4 Koofy just threw that one out the window. Bebo P, man, what you thinking, man?
Yeah, man, Bebo. I know you got the facts and data over there, man.
Yeah, give us the data.
Y'all think I'm over here just like this, just about to read off.
He's gonna be like, in 96.
Nope, I'm over here doing this, listening to y'all, just doing this.
Oh, damn.
Go ahead.
We got hotels everywhere.
Look, no, seriously though.
Everywhere.
Look, stop. No, but going back to this serious topic here, let me just start with Pac. From his perspective at that time of just having been shot 5 times at Quad Studios, which was obviously around the same time of Biggie's Who Shot You dropping. It's understandable from his perspective, from Pac's perspective, to think that Big might have done something to do with that unfortunate ordeal. And again, from Pac's perspective. Now, for me, after hearing the song more times than I can count over the last couple decades or more, I personally never felt that Frank White was that type of guy to pull something off like that. Because they were at odds, but I just don't see Biggie just going to that extreme to actually have that done. I don't personally hear or I don't personally think that there's enough in the song directly or even indirectly to suggest that. Plus, in addition to what was said by Lil C's. Okay, Lil C's.
I see you.
Hey man,
my bad, Lil C's.
No, it's abstract guy. I see you.
Yeah,
abstract
guy.
Now.
We're gonna get
is that
real spit,
criminal?
Man.
Go ahead.
No, real spit, man. My bad, Lil C, man. It just little tongue slip, man. But in addition to C's statement on Vlad. And that's where I got slipped up with the Vlad and C's and put the L there. But I heard Jadakiss say that pretty much the same thing, that song Who Shot You, he said that the song was recorded like maybe a year or more
I believe it.
prior to that incident taking place. So
why did they hold that song so long? Why was that song helpful?
Man, it just happened to drop. Just happened to drop then.
Yeah, and I don't want to negate the fact that it's, you know, very coincidental.
Yeah, man.
That took place. So, you know, that business, I mean, when it comes to Puff or any executives or, you know, the marketing side of things, I wouldn't put anything past anybody. And again, C's, man, that was just a slip of the tongue, brother. It was just, you know, mixing up the L and Vlad with, you know, your name. So it wasn't even like that, brother. But that's just my thing.
Building on top of that a little bit, right? Is that first, let's say that like songs do get set on all the time. You know what I'm saying? So we do know that happens or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, kind of to the point that you were saying that like, hey, you know, it doesn't seem like it, but the song is out there, and Pac is obviously gonna feel a certain way about it. But kind of going back to what I've gone to a few times here, saying like, let's have a little context, right? Which is that also let's remember at the time nobody had really experienced extreme violence from hip hop.
That's true.
At this moment in time, right? So there were things that happened. Maybe some people got punched or beat up, or you know, some chain snatched or something. But there was nothing that was like
where you getting ambushed at the studio, like not in at a party. You getting like shot up doing your job.
Yeah, or we've even known that as we've even heard about some to this day that sometimes the OGs have gotten into it behind the scenes or whatever, right? So at this moment, if you haven't seen anything really come from the back and forth, the sport of hip hop, I could see why somebody would say, hey man, let's just go ahead and drop it. This is sport, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, kind of like Pusha T with like, he's like, hey man, it's you know, when he was going to Drake,
blood
he was
sport,
like,
bro.
Yeah, he was like, hey man, this is a sport. We about to get into it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that does, you know, hold some credence as far as when we think about what was going on in this moment, as far as like saying, hey, I'm gonna release this because I do think that I can get the bag from it, right? I think I can get the bag if I go ahead and release this at this moment, even if, you know, you're not thinking, because everybody's a Monday morning quarterback, obviously, but you're not thinking in that moment like, oh, hey, I'm going to release this, and then like, yo, we're going to see some real consequences that come out of this being released.
Also, at the end of the day, Biggie is a man, right? So if you corner a man, no matter what, you're going to get bit, you're going to get attacked.
Facts.
You know, and so Pac was pushing Biggie to the edge. He was pushing him.
Oh yeah, he was pushing them buttons.
All the buttons. I mean,
you smashing fade, though.
Everything, right? Man. And so, you know, they don't matter how nice Biggie is, how much his mom is involved. If you corner this man, what is he capable of, guys? If he was capable enough to shoot up the Snoop Dogg and Corrupt and all that stuff, and
let's be clear, when he went to LA and went on the radio, he did Long Kiss Goodbye, was basically was dissing Pac. On the radio in LA.
In LA.
Yeah, man. Hey. So take some guts
this
to do that out in LA.
Another question, Hip Hop VCR. If Big, cause we know from a lot of interviews that Big basically was planning on leaving Biggie or leaving Bad Boy.
Bad Boy. Yep.
Number one, first, do you agree with that? And then number two, if he was, do you think he was gonna do something with Lance or do something with Dame or Jay and drop these artists, which were at the time he had Cameron in his bag, Charlie Baltimore, C's, Kim, Junior Mafia, Tracy Lee, and the commission, which was him, Jay-Z, Little Kim, and Charlie. What's your thoughts on that? If he would have survived or never went to LA,
right?
How would the landscape change since we are Jay-Z fans?
Sure. This is an easy question to answer. And all you have to do is look at Puffy's track record. He's undefeated in fucking people over. G-Dep, Black Rob, Mace, The Locks.
This is why this man's on the show.
I wonder what he's doing it for. Wonder what he's doing that for.
All that money is that's Puffy's money.
Yeah.
That's Puffy's money. What you doing with Puffy's money?
So why would Biggie have been exempt from that? Right.
Yeah. Right.
And so I don't think it's a coincidence that Biggie was plotting that, because he probably wasn't seeing much money from his record sales.
He wasn't.
Probably more from performing like any artist at the time, was really caking from live shows, so on and so forth. And you learn that Biggie was a hustler. Like he was forward thinking. He was like, you know,
he took what Pac said and basically like did it. He said, hey man, he put on the Versace's, he put on the Coogee, like he changed the whole thug thing. So he's smart.
He did. Yeah, and so I have my theories that I think that Biggie and Puff would have broke up. They would have beefed the way everyone beefed with Puff and all that good stuff. As much as people make them seem like they were friends, they it's not like they were childhood friends, guys. They met through the business of it all.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? And it's all an image. You know, Puffy is the second man next to Biggie in every video, so on and so forth. He's hyping him up. But when it came down to business, I'm pretty sure that Biggie wasn't going to be with it, and it was going to go south. And now, in regards to legacy, you know, I always had this impression about Biggie versus Jay, and you know, Jay is an obvious hustler. He knows what he's doing. I never really had that idea about Biggie. But when I was listening to Lil C's and other people talk about, and this is just recently, I didn't realize how innovative and forward-thinking Biggie was, which gives me, you know, it supports a theory for me now that Biggie he'd have killed it. He'd have killed it. He would have been, he'd have been set, but he definitely would have broke up with Puff, and there would have been beef. And on another note, before you go on to the next person, I think he would have battled Jay-Z. I think they would have went at it.
Mic drop on that one, bro.
Jay Kent, what you thinking, man? Like, you know, the landscape would change. Would Jay be as big as he is? Would Jay be a billionaire?
Move on. Next question.
If that was going, Jay Kent?
I don't know about that, my guy. I don't know.
There's enough room, guys. There was enough room for both of them.
I'm not saying that Jay wouldn't have been a star. I'm not saying it at all. I'm just saying like as far as big, because I feel like Biggie was outgrowing Bad Boy anyway. He was on the cusp of that.
Yeah, he was.
It was basically
what artists like him was talking about, oh, I'm gonna have artists in the groups and all that. Like he was already foreseeing, like he was already doing that.
Yeah, he was already seeing that, man. And I mean, it just if he would have had more time to get away from, you know, the 72 Dolphins, aka Diddy, like HipHopVCR said, he's undefeated. He got no blemishes. He's zipping.
Name one artist, guys. Shine.
Exactly.
Craig Mack.
Man, he zipped up all his artists. Every artist he's touched is in a body bag.
They went to jail, went to church, or they did.
Their career is zipped up.
Craig Mack.
Yeah, so, man. Yeah.
And let's be clear, he was number 2 on the Forbes list last year. Still,
dang.
Yeah, I'm not crazy.
To Diddy or Love, Brother Love.
Crazy, but yeah, man. I mean, not to say that Jay wouldn't have been a star, because he definitely would have. I just think Biggie, he was starting to transcend hip hop. You know, he was getting on that iconic level, because we don't have that many icons really still living. I mean, Snoop might be like one. Jay's there now.
Yep.
But I mean, outside of them, Dr. Dre, I can't think of any like body who would have been on that level outside of Big. And I think Big may have been slightly above that level had he still been living, because of his influence, his imprint. His imprint was just, it was crazy, man. Like he had his wave, him and Pac, the wave that they had was we still have not seen that. We still have not seen.
Well, this thing, I think Pac, you can't hang around Pac. Pac was an independent thinking dude. He only got on death row because he had to.
Right.
I think when his contract was done, he was going to do his thing. Then you hang around Jay and Dame, they talking independent. Then you hang around Charlie Baltimore and they pretty much was doing their own thing. That's why he put Junior Mafia under them and not Bad Boy.
Right.
So I mean, Jay, where do you think it would have landed?
As far as
just the landscape of just hip hop at the time, man. If he would have did what he did,
it'd have been more fire.
And
a great diss battle between Jay and
also
Biggie.
like Diddy being who he is, he's seeing it, and I'm seeing my major piece of meat go out the door. I gotta do something to keep him.
Hey, even better question, right? better question than would Jay-Z be who he was and accomplished what he accomplished is would Diddy have accomplished
now, and to this day, Diddy still owns his publishing, not his mama. Diddy still owns that publishing.
That makes sense.
But yeah, would Diddy be who he is?
No.
If there was if Biggie was still around?
They built that Bad Boy label off Biggie's back.
Off Biggie's back.
They built it off his
Puffy
back.
did that off everyone. Then he did it off of Mace.
Well,
right?
that's true. That's true.
But that's what makes Puffy good at what he did, guys.
Yes.
That's what made him good, guys.
Yeah, but like think about like that's the I'll be missing you.
That made Diddy a superstar.
Yeah, that took him through the roof. He
shout out to Sauce Money. Sauce Money wrote that, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, and shout out to Sauce Money, man.
Yeah,
he became a pop star off of that, right? Like, would he have ever gotten to that icon status?
I think so.
After I'm not so sure.
I mean, Puffy had the hustle in him. He had the
hustle. He had the hustle.
He did.
And I think he still would have a lot of what he had. I'm not sure if he would have been a pop icon as much as more of like a business icon. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is whenever I think about that.
And he's searched far and wide for a Biggie replacement. He needed somebody that sounded like him and everything.
Yeah. That's why he went with Shine.
That's how much he lived off of Biggie because he was trying to sign him.
Killed it though. After he did his best and he killed it. He owned 97, 98.
He did, man.
He owned it, guys.
And he ruined it until DMX had to come in and DMX the game.
And that's all good, guys. You need contrast. Without Puffy,
without the shiny suit, you wouldn't have the Rough Rider type movement.
Right.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been as loud. You know, the X was loud because Puffy was owning.
So another thing that I think is really important in this conversation is and we kind of talk about this in sports as well, right? Is, you know, in sports, sometimes you need that rival, you know what I'm saying? That back and forth. Like this happens majorly in like boxing as well, right? Like Mike Tyson had these rivals. There was Real Deal Holyfield, you know what I'm saying? And when you have these rivals, or if you think about like Agassi and Sampras on the tennis court, like they had this rivalry, right? So I think that's the other thing is that Big had this rivalry with Pac, you know what I'm saying? And that rivalry that was there, man, lifted them both up into the stratosphere, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think that was a huge thing in that moment, was just the sport of these two guys being like, nah, I'm gonna do this bigger and better than you. And then each one looking to top that other person, like, nah, man, I ain't gonna let him do that. I'm gonna step this up another level, and so on and so forth. And then honestly, in those moments, Jay was kind of looking from the sidelines, you know what I'm saying? Now he did step his game up, but I think part of that was seeing everything that was bouncing back and forth between Biggie and Pac, and I think that also inspired him to step his game up as well.
Right.
BOP, go in, man, on that question, man.
If Biggie were alive today, I think that he may have been in a position, he may have been in a heightened status in the music industry with Jay-Z somewhere jealous due to being successfully under him in regards to the mainstream and underground accomplishments. And that goes for Diddy as well. I definitely don't take Dame Dash or Gene Deal, shout out to those brothers, to be the lion type of individuals. I don't take them to be the lion type, particularly regarding, you know, the statements such as, you know, the statements, or rather the testimonies that they've made, such as, you know, the Dame's mentioning of Big was going to do like a triple album, and then in order to finish his Bad Boy deal, then sign over to Rockefeller, which, by the way, I think the first hip hop cat that did a triple album was 8 Ball with that Lost album. Yeah, back in the day.
Triple album, bro. Man. Talk about dilution,
man.
Man. That joint he ever read, man, on there was.
It was. Yeah. But no, regardless, Biggie. I mean, I think that he was planning on something, and there was probably a few or several options that were on his table at the time. I know he was allegedly hurting for some, you know, hurting for the cash, or hurting for cash flow.
I think that's a factor, guys, to where he would have been.
But do you think Diddy was basically kind of like holding the bread back to keep him back on?
Absolutely. I mean, because think about it. Like, think about the deal, and I forgot the exact figure of millions of dollars that was presented to him, but the plan was for it to be incremented allegedly into $250,000 out of like double-digit millions.
Hey man, without no money, there's no mobility.
Guys,
right.
that right there results in a derailment. So if Biggie's gonna end up going through this while he's alive, if he survives the shooting or never gets shot, and he ends up going through this issue with Puffy, it's gonna be a derailment in his career.
It is.
Not many artists make it back from something like that.
They don't.
So he would have went
drop
through
a bomb
that.
for
Now,
that one.
Drop a
when
bomb.
you look at Jay went through his career like a sweetheart. Because
did.
everything was in place, there was money.
Everything was aligned, correct.
Everything. He never really went through it. He was independent relatively. He had pre-rap money, right?
So true.
Yeah. So he had his own money to put up.
And they knew how to move that money while they were getting it.
Yep.
So Biggie had that derailment. So what would have happened with that derailment? You know, was Biggie strong enough or consistent enough or had the resilience to come back from something like that? Because that would have been the news for like 2 years. This issue with Puffy and
like the Locks. It took the Locks forever to get off Bad Boy.
Yeah, man. And then it took time. And on the strength of Jadakiss being an incredible artist, right? And Styles P and Sheik in their own rights, but Jadakiss, they were gonna rise to the top no matter what, right? And obviously Biggie is just as more talented, but is that derailment is something to think about. What would have happened with that?
I
right?
feel you.
So,
I feel
here's
you
the other thing too. Nobody, as you know, per the date of this recording, is debunking what Gene Deal said about the fact that a $60 or $62 million deal was on the table for him from either Capitol or Arista. Nobody's debunking what Dame Dash said about
a lot of money for that time.
Signing Biggie and the firm. They were Dame Dash and Rockefeller was going to sign the firm as well. But Steve Stout,
Biggie's whole thing was he was looking at Wu-Tang and was saying, "Hey, I get the same thing. I got guys on the street. I can just write records for it." The other thing too is with Puffy finding out that Big was writing for Kim when they first started, that he understood publishing, which was if I wrote it and told Puff's taking that publishing money. He owns my publishing, but I'm going to start ghost writing for people, so I can just take the money,
cash money.
See that, and that's the thing, man. It's one thing to be in the game and perceive a visual of success, but we never know what really goes on behind closed doors in some cases. And with that statement that Iceberg just made, it just goes to show that when you've been restricted financially. Or just in general, and you start picking up what's been going on and how to overcome some of those restrictions, that's when there's going to be soon to come problems. So it's just very interesting that you shared that dynamic and drop a bomb for Iceberg on that. Yeah, man. Great commentary here.
Go ahead and take that 10 for a Kofi, brother.
I think
Take that.
Well, long story short,
you gotta do the shake. You gotta shake.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hold on.
Take the money. The other thing too is if it was, come on, man, if it was Diddy, well, I don't know. Jay's a businessman too, though, because remember Jay. Yeah, the album after Big died was pretty much a Bad Boy album. It was in my lifetime when he was like Joe Camel in the camera.
Wow,
which is one of my favorite albums, by the way. I love that in my lifetime.
That album, guys.
Love that the one where he was in the shiny suit in the joint.
Yes.
Yeah. That song was dope. It's just the video was just
that song.
The song is incredible.
Didn't that was Babyface on the hook, right?
Yeah, and then he had Foxy on the joint too.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was Hype Williams directed.
Hype Williams did it.
Yeah.
The video was cool. It's just like when he had on that Joker suit.
It's unlike Jay. It's unlike him.
I guarantee you, it was Diddy. It was Big. Take that. Diddy saying, "Hey, let me."
I heard that.
Let me guide you through this thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have Big anymore. But like I said, I don't know. I just don't know, man. But this was the time when I was in high school,
man.
Life After Death drop, Biggie just dies. All of a sudden, industry goes crazy. The next thing you know, you belong to the city. And Jay comes out, and it was just like Jay took over. And like you said, Jay had the perfect lane.
All the stars were aligned for Jay.
Yeah, the stars were ready.
Yeah,
hey,
stars were aligned, bro.
He took advantage of the opportunity that was in front of him.
And you can't hate on that.
You can't hate on that, man.
No, you
and
can't
that's
hate
what
on
you
that.
should do.
And that's
if you're a good
what
artist, you should take advantage of
now,
every
guys,
opportunity.
Prepared for when the opportunity comes.
Biggie on Rockefeller, there definitely was not enough room in one record label.
Oh,
no.
Especially the way we know Jay-Z likes to be the Beyonce of the label.
And I'm not putting Cam on a level, but even when Cam was on Rock,
he was
it wasn't no room for that.
No room for Cam.
There's not enough room, guys, in the record label for both those guys. Murder Inc., the group, DMX, Jay-Z, Ja Rule, didn't happen because of egos. There's just not enough room for these kind of guys to make this kind of stuff. Biggie and on Rockefeller, man, I don't know who's gonna take the backseat.
Right.
Nobody.
Right. Nobody's taking it.
Right. Talk about Biggie.
Well, the other thing too is I think Jay didn't like the commission. He didn't want to be really a part of the commission when he put Charlie in there.
Okay.
Jay was already having issues with that too. So because and then the other thing, Jay didn't want Biggie smashing both of them and then having them in the studio together. Jay was like, "Hey man, Jay's about that bread."
Right.
So but like I said, man, we just had to salute Big one time, man.
Absolutely.
And of course, man, our first guest, VCR, man, like just killed it, knocked it out of the park. Again, 100,000 by December. I'm claiming it. When this is the thing, when you're on TMZ and all that, talking about classic moments, just remember us. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Shout out. You know,
just give us a shout out. You know what I'm saying?
Just be like, I started with these little guys.
Right.
They had this little podcast.
I don't know. You guys might see me in court. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get sued by all these people, guys.
No, it ain't happening, man. It ain't happening.
But every episode we end with our flowers, man. So
okay.
HipHopVCR, who you giving your flowers to this week, man? It could be a hip hop producer, artist, CEO, anybody that just helped the culture.
I'm gonna cheat real quick. I'm gonna do 2.5. And I'm gonna make it quick. Game. I've been reflecting on Game lately. And even before the Drink Champs, and just kind of going back and listening to his early stuff, and I'm like, this stuff was incredible. Is incredible.
Solid album.
Bro.
He can make good albums. Big fan. Really good album.
He can make great albums.
First 3 albums, real strong first 3 albums. After that, there was a fall off. I didn't care as much, but those first 3 albums, man. The second and third one, a lot of West Coast influence on those albums. The first one is incredible, but it's not as much West Coast as the other 2 because the whole 50 Cent influence and all that on it, right? But they're all 3 of them incredible albums. My second set of flowers is gonna go to 50 because I've been reflecting on a Power of the Dollar.
Okay.
Okay. Hungry 50. Like this guy is hungry, and you never heard 50 ever again like that. And I have an appreciation for 50 pre-success and post-success. 2 separate 50s. I like them both, but that pre-success 50, that nigga will rob you, fuck you up.
He was dangerous.
He was dead serious. I was scared. I'm scared now. Listen to that damn album. My half flowers goes to the supposedly Nicki Minaj gave Lil Kim her flowers. She was interviewed by Joe Budden, and I give Nicki Minaj a lot of respect for that because I've been waiting for that for a while. I don't give a fuck how much beef or how bitchy Lil Kim was or all the cold shoulders Kim gave Nicki. Kim is a legend, guys. She's a legend. And it don't matter.
Every female
don't meet the legends. Don't meet these people, right?
Don't meet them.
Okay. That's that's my half because we gotta confirm that. But supposedly that just kind of happened, and I hope that's a thing. But check out the interview with Joe Budden. It's just like an hour, and supposedly she gave Kim her flowers. I'm done.
Hey, that's what's up.
Okay,
that's what's up, man. Jay Kemp, man, who you got, man?
Where you going,
man? I gotta go with one of the most underrated cats, in my opinion. And speaking of bad boy, I gotta go with SP the Ghost, Styles Pinero. Stupid underrated because he's next to an incredible MC himself and Jada.
Yeah,
but people don't realize, man, Styles has put together some incredible projects.
And
I would pay to go see Styles in person.
Gangsta and Gentleman.
Gangsta the Gentleman. He's done collabs with Talib. He's done collabs with Havoc. Collabs with
Akon regular series too.
Yeah, man.
And think about how crazy his hooks are too. Like that dude is one of the greatest hook rappers, man, that we've ever.
He's real good with the hooks.
Special, man. They got all these guys.
They sent him that BMF record. He wasn't supposed to be on it.
And
but the bars were so serious they had to keep him on the song.
They had to keep him on there.
Crazy.
He obliterated that track.
He did. I look forward to it just because.
Red Dead Redemption.
Exactly. Right. And, first of all, he dropped Red Dead Redemption, bro. Like if you're not a gamer, if you're a gamer, if you're a gamer back, but Styles P, man. Ghost is just crazy, man. I wish he would get more props, man. Again, I understand because Jada's such an incredible artist too. But that dude ain't nothing to sneeze at, man. Like Styles shouldn't feel like he needs to take a backseat to anybody. With the work that he's put into, and you look at his discography, salute. SP, salute, bro.
Man. Oof. Tough
one, man. Bebo, who you got, man?
Who you got?
I'm gonna go ahead and say this again, man. Shout out to Lil C's, man. Just Lil C's.
Damn,
coming for you.
Hey,
that's not.
That Lil C's album, though.
For you, bro.
Hey, that C's album was tough.
It was tough. He had Busta on there,
Jay. Okay.
Yeah. So
that album was
produced by All Puff too, by the way.
Hey, it was better than that Praz album.
I agree. Look,
the production on there.
Stop trying to insert. Stop trying to insert.
These are the guys I didn't record when they came on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But hold on. That's not the flowers I was originally gonna go with. But
I know.
That's kind of like my half.
That was one of Puffy's better jobs. Puffy got some hit.
It was. And, shout out to Junior Mafia just in general, man. Because I don't want to leave without saying or giving them their just due. Kim and C's and the rest of the gang. Hey, shout out to any of them that helped or did it along with Big in order for the legacy to be what it is today. But my flowers,
hey man, actually C's, C's was driving and messed his leg up, man. I don't like C's, man. He made him broke his leg. Anyway,
no, you're good. But speaking of affiliates and cohorts of Big, I'm not even going to go with the artist today. I am going to go with his former bodyguard, Gene Deal. Diddy.
Gene.
Deal. It's just really dope to listen to the stories that this former bodyguard experienced with legacy artists that we just talked about.
So crazy.
Junior Mafia and Big, Black
and the
Rob,
crazy thing, he was
Mace.
there for everything, bro.
He was. He was.
Yeah.
So really, and based on that, really, he seems to share these tales of folks like this from a genuine space. So it's very interesting to hear the stories that the mainstream contingent of entertainment probably would never even dare to even expose. So shout out to Gene Deal, man. You communicate your verbiage from a genuine and organic space, man. Check out Gene Deal on YouTube, man. And shout out to him. I want to give Gene his flowers for being on the front lines for a couple or a few or pretty much all of these hip hop legends. So shout out to that man right there.
All right, man.
LB, who you got, Pop Father?
I'm gonna get to it.
He wants to bring up Praz again. Okay.
No. But it's so funny you were talking about like bodyguards. I just got a real quick funny story. I was literally in a grocery store one day, man, and my kids was just acting up, being foolish or whatever, right? And the guy over there, he's like, "Oh, hey man, how's it going? Your kids looking good, blah blah." And then he's like, and so he just starts talking to me, and he's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, I used to be Rick James's bodyguard, man.
Wow.
I bet he has some stories.
Oh man,
a lot of work.
I'm in the grocery store, right? And we sitting there, and literally 25 minutes later, this dude he was like, "Yeah, man, I was with Rick James." And this, he's like, "You know who Rick James is?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I know who Rick James is."
Your couch.
This dude was probably pushing up on 70 or something. Maybe he was younger and just had that tough life with Rick James, but he was just telling me all these stories while I'm sitting in the grocery store, man. It was just a crazy moment. So I just had to throw that out there, because you was talking about bodyguards. But
okay,
as far as I'm gonna get to flowers, I'm gonna go with one of my favorite dudes who I feel like birthed a lot of these rappers out here, and that's Big Daddy Kane, man.
The Big Daddy Kane.
He was one of my favorites when I was coming up before I really, was able to get into a ton of hip hop. But man, just his flow and his style and his swagger, and then just even the whole like situation with Madonna in the book and all of that, and then
he schooled Jay a lot of game too.
Yes. He schooled Jay-Z to a ton of game, and then even now today, just the respect that every other MC gives Big Daddy Kane to this day, man, it's just bananas, man. So and then obviously
he killed that verses too.
He did.
Yeah. But just being in Juice Crew, the whole no half stepping, man, just like all of that. And you just really got to get this man his flowers for.
You do.
And I think one of the things that he showed early on was how to be a star as a rapper, because prior to Big Daddy Kane, we had some stars, you know what I'm saying? But he was kind of a star in a different kind of a light, you know what I'm saying? Because we had the like Run DMC stars, you know what I'm saying, which was kind of in another lane. And then you kind of had like the LL people, LL Cool J, who was a star and absolutely bananas and still crazy, but he was still like the ladies' man, and he kind of had this clean aesthetic or whatever, Whereas Big Daddy Kane, he really didn't necessarily have that sort of super clean, I'm not gonna curse on these records aesthetic, but he was still like a hip hop star in that moment, man. So,
and it's funny you mention him, because really like an extreme legend like Big Daddy Kane was a precursor to Biggie. He was one of the precursors to him, just like Cool G Rap and with the mafioso style and just others of that ilk. So it's funny you mentioned Big Daddy Kane on that, because he definitely came right before the Notorious B.I.G. and the legacy that he brought forth, and they both brought forth. Excuse me. So I just wanted to acknowledge that too.
And I think that's kind of why I was thinking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, great hip hop flowers, man. Like legendary. Again, we running a little over, man. But want to give hip hop VCR, man, his flowers again.
Hey, he's got to have them,
panel, man. Any last words, man, before we get up out of here, man?
Yeah.
I appreciate the support from you guys specifically. I thank you guys for having me on. I haven't been doing this that long. Again, I've only been on YouTube since November of 2021. So I'm hoping to continue dumping all this stuff so our culture can continue to grow. And I've always said this: America doesn't really have a culture. Hip hop is its first culture. I think that. I have to think. I haven't thought about that in a while, but I remember saying that a long time ago.
I think you might have some new merch on that one right there.
Other thing people don't understand, man, hip hop has moved faster than Christianity as far as like moving across the world.
I'm telling you. And it permeates in everything. It's not just about music and fashion. It's just about the way you walk, the way you live, the way you see things, the way you eat, the way you perceive, the way you analyze. It's everything. I run a business, and my business, the foundation was hip hop, but it's not evident. It's not like I got graffiti all over my walls or none of that. But I'm hip hop. I'm edgy. I'm hip hop.
Hey,
hip hop made sure I didn't ever buy a RAV4. You buy a RAV4 to push a fucking RAV4, like I ain't
right. So come back again, hip hop VCR. Definitely come back again.
I'll be back, and it'll be a pleasure, guys. And
and when you get the platform cracking, we coming on your joint 100%, man.
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
and can't wait for that too.
When you hit that 100,000 wild, like my man Iceberg,
we gotta come on the 100,000.
we coming back, just to be like, man, that's what it is.
Oh yeah,
good stuff
for sure. Appreciate you guys helping me push this through. So it helps from all angles.
Did you have anybody Iceberg?
Man, honestly, man, like this week, not really, man. Like again, I just been on the Biggie joint, man. Like I said, man, I'm a Biggie fan and a Pac connoisseur. So the two guys, even though I try to keep them separated, their lives are so intertwined. It's crazy, man. So, and then I'm a Jay-Z fan, and then Jay-Z is a product of all that spillage. Then he comes out and just basically kills it, man. Like, So I mean, it's just, if you grew up when we grew up, man, you see the lineages just go down. It's like watching Game of Thrones, and you love Ned Starks at the beginning, but then he's done over here. Then you got to follow this guy. So again, like I said, Hip Hop VCR. Thank you. Thank you. Got any words before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. Just salute to Hip Hop VCR. Salute to Chris Wallace. Salute to his legacy. Salute to all the things that bloomed from that untimely passing of his. But hip hop is in a great place because of guys like Chris Wallace, man. He showed us all the way.
Frank
Pac
White
showed us the way. So, I'm looking forward to, continuing to push this culture forward, man.
LB, Podfather, any words real quick?
Hey, no, man. Just shouts out to the fans. You know how I am every time, man. Shouts out to the fans. We appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
We love everything you've done. Shouts out to Hip Hop VCR's fans, man. And we glad y'all made it out to the show. All the comments, checking us out, checking in and all of that, man. I just appreciate that because we here because y'all out there and we want to keep it going. So y'all keep it going. Hit that subscribe, hit that like, go over to Hip Hop VCR, hit that subscribe, hit that like, man. All of that. So that's it, man. That's it.
Bebo P.
I mean, same deal. Shout out to everybody who's listening and supports us. Shout out to Hip Hop VCR as well for just being willing to share your time and your wisdom and your knowledge and just your presence on here with us at Fresh Out. Shout out to you, brothers as well. Biggie was ranked in a report card that Kumo D put in a book. I believe it was the 50 Greatest MCs. And in that book, B.I.G. was obviously ranked somewhere. I'm not going to spoil that. I'll let you guys look that up. So without spoiling the ranking, I will say this, though. He did label Biggie as, if I remember right, because it's been a while, he labeled him as the Power. Now, I think that all of us here have clarified in our own way that that's what he is, and that's what Biggie has brought. But I want folks out there to ask themselves, what's your power in? Or in other words, what gifts do you bear that you could share with the world in a positive light, in an influential light? Or what talents can you improve upon that you already are exercising in order to, to be of major impact in this lifetime, before it's too late. So I just want everybody to kind of think about that. Shout out to you all once again, brothers. Shout out to the audience. Come back again. Hip Hop VCR. You guys come back as the audience. Shout out to Fresh Out and shout out just to people who are in extreme need, period. And happy 25th year anniversary. I know this is the day that Big unfortunately left or got taken away from us, but as J Camp said earlier, we want this to be seen as a celebration of sorts as opposed to a somber moment. So that's my 2 cents right there. And much love. Stay safe out there.
Absolutely.
Again, we're going to get out of here. We went over, man. But again, Hip Hop VCR. Check out the platform. Again, our stuff is Fresh Out Show on our platforms. Check out this audio version of this on anywhere you get a podcast. You'll hear the audio. Absolutely. Again, we're going to be chopping this up too. So you're going to see more of this. Again, Hip Hop VCR, J Camp, LB, Bebo P. Another one, man. We out.
We out.
Hold up. You're now listening to Fresh Out, the world's most dangerous music podcast on the OMG Network and rawcynic.com.